I think we're live. Are we live? I'm going to say we're live. Probably no viewers yet because we're on a 5 minute delay. Anyway, welcome back to Blackbird Poker, aka Poker Bob, and Blackbird Poker in Global Poker because I came up with that screen name when I was still streaming as Blackbird Poker. So we missed a little bit of a chance to have our Twitter/YouTube handle be the same as our global username, screen name, handle, whatever. But Blackbird's still cool. I kind of wish I didn't capitalize the B right in the middle there. It's kind of like Blackbird. No, Blackbird is one word. Anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a situation, and that situation is nothing other than a new style of poker tournament called Ante Up. It is part of the Grizzly games on Global. I can never get this. It's always, I try to leave a little bit of space. Okay. I try to leave a little bit of space at the top for the title of the game here. Whoops. It's always like really jammed up, but you can still see it. So here's the format. Blinds will be 5 and 5 throughout the evening. And the only aspect that will increase is the ante, which is currently, so I guess we're 8. Are we 8-handed? Well, no. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. This guy didn't get cards, I don't think. We're 9-handed, so there's going to be an ante of 10 for the first level. And then I think it's going to go to probably 20, and then 80, and then so on and so forth. I would imagine we can kind of chill for a little bit. Blinds. Yeah, 10, then 20, then 30, then 40, then 60, then 80, then 100, then 125. So they don't like double or anything until, well, they really don't. They just kind of creep up. But at some point, your 5,000 stack has got to get involved. We're okay for right now, where the antes are only 10 and the blinds are 5 and 5. I would imagine there's going to be a lot of limping. So we're going to try to not do that. At some point, we just got to get in and gamble. But from what I understand, this is just from quickly reading over some strategy today. From what I gather, small pre-flop raises can work very, very efficiently, and we can get a lot of good value out of it. Because I think a lot of players tend to, well, first of all, nobody out there, I say nobody, it's never that absolute. There aren't a lot of folks out there that quite get how this works. Not a ton of advanced strategy on it. You don't see a lot of people playing even ante games anymore. I played them back in the day, 20 years ago. 7-card stud games. Those are fun. I miss them in a way. I get them a little bit. You can really, I mean, if you push the action out of the gate with solid starting hands, you can pick up a lot of chips early on. It is still no limit. It is not like we're reverting to limit poker. And post flop, you don't want to put your stack at risk. You can really just get away with Um, can get away with smallish bets. I'm gonna keep. Usually, I do big blind view for stack sizes, stack. For how you view your stack. 20. Are we already up? Yeah, it's 7:40, so we're up. We're up to 20. So obviously, we've got to get in there and gamble at some point. We've got 180 in the pot. We've got ace four offsuit in the cutoff. But just to finish up what I was saying, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep my stack in terms of chips and not big blinds. Just I feel like it'll be a little bit easier to. It's going to be easier to navigate that way. Just because the blinds always stay the same. The blinds aren't increasing. It's always going to be five. We're always going to have, whatever, 1,000 big blinds. At least that five. If we have a 5,000 starting stack, it's always going to be that amount. So it's really not. I don't think it's not gonna help us at all to put our stack into big blinds. It's really just more about the actual chips because again, the blinds don't increase, only the antes. So hopefully we pick something up and we can start to get a little gambly here. I don't understand it when, well, maybe it was a misclick. I don't understand players accessing their time bank before their regular time expires, but he didn't take too long to. He didn't take too long to fold there, so maybe that was it. Just a misclick. Yeah, I have no idea how this will go. We'll see. We'll see. Just gonna check into YouTube on my phone. Make sure we're actually live here. Yep, we're good. We're out there. I think this table layout here looks kind of cool. Presents very nicely. I don't use this one a lot. Sometimes it kind of reminds me of like an old red carpet, like at your grandmother's house or something, because, back in the 20th century, carpeting was all the rage of all shapes and sizes and colors. So it kind of reminds me, it's almost like you can smell the old stale cigarette smoke, like that gets in like the curtains and the carpet. But it's kind of cool. It presents well. It's almost like 49ers-ish in honor of the recent Super Bowl where the 49ers lost. But I profited $400 on the game. And it all came in the last play. I had I did one of those cross-sport bets, which I thoroughly enjoy and haven't done enough of them. But I did Kristaps Porzingis. The actual bet itself on DraftKings was Kristaps Porzingis to score. I forget how they worded it, but it was, I guess, over or under the Chiefs. The Chiefs and Kristaps Porzingis total points scored. Would one be over or under the other? I forget which way it was. You had to bet it because I bet it for it to be the same. I think it was like a 19 to 1 or plus 1900 payout. It was about that. Porzingis scored 25 points. I was a little bit perturbed by it because he sat out the third quarter with a back injury, and he came back and he scored a few, like 9 more, because he had like 16 in the first half. So I was like, great, this guy's going to score like 30, 31 points, which is kind of what I thought the Chiefs would score. I figured they'd be able to put up some points, but he scored 25, and then going into that last possession, the Chiefs had 19, and I was like, well, they got to go for a touchdown. I mean, they don't have to. They could just tie it and let the game play out. But really, the next possession after that was going to win the game. Any score would win the game. So they really kind of had to go for the touchdown. And of course, once you score that touchdown, you get to 25, you don't have to go for the extra point. So I knew I was in good shape. It also won me another parlay at the same time. The legs were, I believe it was five. I think it was five legs. It was San Francisco to kick the first field goal. Chiefs to win by 1-6, which obviously hit on the last play. What was it? It was and the other thing that hit on the last play was no 2-point conversion to be attempted in the game. So that was a relief because I guess if San Fran had scored a touchdown, the Chiefs were going to go for two, which would have negated the whole thing. There were two other things as well. Christian McCaffrey touchdown. So it was McCaffrey touchdown, no 2-point conversion, Chiefs to win by 1-6, San Fran to kick the first field goal, and the other one was, I'll find it. It was 49ers first half spread at minus half a point. So the Niners won the first half 10-3, so that hit early. So it was the Niners. It was the Niners first half spread, which they won. Christian McCaffrey anytime TD score, and the 49ers to kick the first field goal. Those three hit, by the end of the first half. So the second half, I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, the Chiefs can win by 1-6. It's totally in play, and just no 2-point conversions. And it was in play basically the whole second half and overtime. The wager was 10 to get paid $3.50, so I nailed that. And then the other one was a bonus $5 bet that I ended up getting paid $125 on. And I had made about $70 or $75 worth of live bets throughout the game. So that I kind of dusted those off. So after all was said and done, I had, after the game was over, I had $475 left in my account. Figured I made about the 70. I left the 75 in there and cashed out the 400 basically. So I was planning to just whatever was left, because I had 63 in my DraftKings account before going into the Super Bowl, and I during the game I deposited like 10 more bucks. I had won a little side bet while playing poker on Friday night, so I took that $10 and threw that in there as the game was going on, because I wanted to have money in there to bet like the very last drive, which I didn't end up doing anyway because I burned it at the end of regulation, I think. So I had no money left going into overtime, but I was like, I got two bets that are totally live right now, so I just let it ride, and it worked. So I was originally going to cash out all of what I had in there, because that was basically my profit. That $63 I had in there was my profit for the season in DraftKings. I had made some deposits along the way when I ran out, but I would immediately cash back out when I'd win again, So I was already up, and then of course that $10 I deposited. So I left which I probably could have taken out, but I was taking out 400, so I didn't really need to worry about that. I'm going off topic. Anyway, I left $75 in there. I had a really good gambling season, won almost $1,000 on just straight sports gambling. 500 of it was what I cashed out from ESPN when they were doing that, like around Thanksgiving. They were doing that. Make a minimum whatever $5 bet, deposit, first time deposit, make a bet, get 5 free bonus bets of $50, and I just crushed them. I won 3 out of the 5 of them on like parlay, like significant parlays, like 3 or 4 teamers, and I was just picking that. It was that weekend. It was the Sunday after Thanksgiving. I think I had a bet. I want to say I had a bet in for like the Black Friday game, but whatever. I did a bunch of parlays that Sunday after Thanksgiving, like the early games, like 4-teamer, just picking winners. So they could have they were all money line bets. So some of them were like minus 500, like the Chiefs. I think I had minus 500 or something, or maybe I had the Chiefs was like a night game or something. That might have been a parlay I lost where I had them to like beat the Packers. I forget. No, it couldn't have been because the Packers played on Thanksgiving. Anyway, I won a couple of big parlays of like 3 or 4 teamers, and one of them was like Philly coming back against the Bills, I think. Okay, so we actually are the big blind here. We're in for 5. We got 180 in the pot. We got almost a starting stack. We got Queen Jack offsuit and a bunch of limps, and I feel like we could probably just try to steal this with a decent size raise if Velvet Touch checks to us, which hopefully he does, but he's got some chips. He's probably been gambling a little bit. I think he was in a pot with you. Yeah, see? And that's like 5% of our starting stack. All right, so we're going to fold it because it's not a hand that always flops very well. So Velvet Touch here. I don't have notes on him. Obviously, he seems to know what he's doing. I don't know what this shield icon badge is for. We're now up to 30 on antes, so we're starting to move. We'll try to put a raise in here with ace-3 suited in hopes that we flop well, or we might just have to see a flop for 165. I'm probably going to play a little bit cautiously at first because I've never done one of these. These two I feel like I think we might as well see a flop. I'm going to try to be a little protective of my stack, but we do have to get gambly here, and we're going to have okay, so we're in good shape with the diamonds. I really would rather not have this be a 10-minute stream. Because there is a lot of money. We have 445 players currently. All right, I think we got a call here. It's going to be a little bit obvious if the diamond comes right away. But we just got to go after chips. That's a pretty good card. So we're going to check the turn. And if there is another bet, which I don't see why there wouldn't be, we might just have to get it in here. If not, that's fine too, because we do have top pair. Yeah. Oh, yuck. Oh, yuck. I think we have to get it all in. And right out of the gate. We do have another bullet we could fire off. Oh, that sucks. So that was fun. He had it. I really didn't think he'd have it there. I thought we could maximize a little fold equity. Maybe he had a hand like King Queen. So guess what? We do have another bullet to fire off in that, but I don't think I'm gonna do it because that kind of stunk. So maybe we switch gears. Let's see what else we have on Global Poker. Yeah. What else we got here? Yeah, that stinks. Wow, does that stink? Too bad. We got a late reg. Closed in 6 minutes. So 5 times. How many players were in this? 69 players. So 75 times 70 is 350. This is a massive overlay, isn't it? This is a huge overlay. And blinds are out. Level 3 starts another. This is a crazy overlay. All right. Well, so break from the Grizzly games. This is one of those unlimited rebuy add-on tourneys, but we're gonna go to big blind view. So we dusted off our another ticket. We dusted off another ticket to the Grizzly games. We've got one left. For those of you who are only tuning in for the Grizzly games, there's literally none of you out there, but just in case, we are gonna fire off our final bullet on Friday night. I forget which tourney that is. I will find out. what day is Friday? Friday is the 16th. So we've got it's a bounty. It's a super bounty. 10K guaranteed. Super bounty at 7:30 Friday. Might be a slightly Oh, and of course we got a break. Might be a slightly later start Friday because my wife is having a game night with her sisters, which shouldn't really affect my ability to start streaming. But I mean, if it starts at 8, it starts at 8. We can play short stacked. I've been trying to brush up a little bit on shorter stacked poker, which we currently have. Like figuring out my 33, like 30 to 50 big blind strategy. Been trying to brush up a little bit on that specifically. I think it'll be kind of a good, we'll call it exploit. Um, I guess we'll call it an exploit. My thinking behind it is I would like to play more online tourneys, but the problem that I get into sometimes is that they start too late or they run too late or I just don't have the time to do it. Where if I study a 30 to 50 big blind strategy, that'll open things up in a sense. I can start them. I could enter a tournament later, so a tourney that ends at like 6:30 at night, I can get into, and it'll be that much further along in the tourney. So, um, which will obviously end sooner than as if I entered a tourney that starts at 8 o'clock. They say you should enter tournaments earlier if you feel like you have an edge on the field. I don't know that I have an edge on the field. I'll be honest. I think I'm a good cash poker player, and I've over time have profited a little bit. I've been sort of a break even player for the last couple of years. But whatever. I do well enough in cash to have a decent sized bankroll for low stakes. Online tournaments, I don't know that I'm that great at this point. As you can probably tell by my move in the Ante Up Tourney. The turn card was good, but I should have put somebody on Queen Jack probably. Um, and probably could have just. See, this is the thing. If you just call the turn there and the river bricks, now what? Now he's jamming no matter what, and I gotta wonder. I gotta worry. I gotta wonder if my ace with my turned top pair is good. So, live and learn there. We might try an Ante Up Tourney again. Um, I'm throwing a lot at you. I seem to do that a lot. I mean, I guess my opponent could have had a lot of things like two pair, top pair, kings, whatever. That's over with. We're moving on. So I've been studying 30 to 50 big blind strategy. It'll allow me to get into tourneys that are already going on, and it'll be further along in the tournament. So I guess I won't have to worry about making mistakes in an early level. You can just get that much further into attorneys. I'm gonna try to play some on an ignition. They have a couple. They have one like the micro roller, the 2K micro roller starts at 5:30 p.m. The 30 to 50 big blind range is like between like I calculated 7:25 p.m. to 8 p.m. As long as I get in within there, that's a good time frame. And and they also have the 1K micro monster stack for the first one. The micro roller is $5.50. The second one, the 1K micro monster stack, is $4.40. That starts 6:15 p.m. and the 30 to 50 big blind window is 8:40 p.m. to 9:15. So in theory, I could play two in one night. Start with one, log in and sign up for the other one while the other one's going. Or if I don't play well or get blown up in the first one, I can always log in early too. I can log in. I can play when there's 70 big blinds. No big deal. But yeah, so that might be the plan. So I might, after this Grizzly games, I might switch it on over to Ignition, change gears. I could, I could do that tonight. I figure we'd stick with Global because we're already on there. I do need to change. Uh, this is what SC. I think it's 5.5. Well, whatever. We can just copy paste, right? The brawl. This is the brawl. I don't know why they. Well, I guess I do. They don't put the buy-in in the title here. SC 5.5. Copy paste. And it is a rebuy. Why does that do that? Okay. And why does it move it? Did my screen move? Or is this the wrong? What is this now? Okay, I need to adjust that because it's screwing up. Properties. Okay. There we go. Do some centering of it here. I like to center it with the middle card. I think it's, even though it's not the center of the screen, I think that just presents a little bit better. So there you are. There you have it. We're in the 5.5, the brawl, 1250 guaranteed. That is one thing I noticed when I first signed up for Global and was just kind of looking on my phone one night, just perusing like tourneys, because I had watched Ashley Sleeth's a couple of her streams on Global. It looked pretty cool, looked interesting. I wasn't really grasping what the whole sweeps coins model was, so I was kind of skeptical at first. But it looked like there were some big like overlays and tourneys, and so I logged in and I'm just kind of following along. Like when just seeing how many people would enter, what kind of prize pools, what kind of guarantees were out there, and when and then looking at tourneys like as they like past the late reg period, what the prize pool was like, what the payouts were, how much of the field they pay out. But I did notice that overlays were like massive, and I can't. It was a while ago, and I was like right before going to sleep, so I can't. I want to say I wish I'd been keeping track of what tourney it was. I think it was probably after 10 o'clock. It might even be even closer to 11, and I almost like jumped in one. Or maybe it's possible I was looking at gold coins, not really realizing what the difference was, I think. But that wouldn't even make sense because the gold coin denominations are so much larger. It had to have been a sweeps coins tourney that I was looking at. I just remember the overlays are so big, and I almost jumped into a tourney, like a turbo. But then I was like, well, it's like almost 11 o'clock at night. I can't just, and I was going to play it on my phone while like lying in bed. I'm like, this is ridiculous. But I noted it. So it had to have been like a later game. And I did notice too that the late reg periods were like level 3, level 6, like early, like quick late reg periods, which is perfect. So the thing is with Global though, I'm trying to keep my bankroll in good shape. So I haven't really found too many of that model of tournament like I was talking about with Ignition, where there's a good time window that I can like. There's a couple, $4 or $5 games, tourneys that I can sign up for from like after the kid goes to bed after 7:30 to like somewhere between that and 9 o'clock. The thing is with the Ignition tourneys is that they're 15-minute blind levels, so if I sign up for the micro monster stack at 9 o'clock, late reg ends at I don't even know if late reg ends at late 15. It might end at like 10. So I could get stuck in that game for a while with 15-minute levels. So I probably should, when I actually do this, I probably should either do that on a weekend, like do that if I break out of the Grizzly game. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's the last ticket I got. Hope and the series ends on Sunday, so Friday will be it for me. If I break out of that early, like by 9 o'clock, let's say it starts at 7:30, then I could just jump into the micro monster stack on Ignition and it's a Friday night. I can see how late it goes. My wife's gonna have her friends over, so whatever. It's not like I'm going to bed early that night. I mean, for friends, her sisters. So this one too, I should mention, it is a 5.5 sweeps coins entry. There's unlimited rebuys. Hopefully we avoid that. We're in level. This started at what time? 7:30. We're we're 50, 100, so we're at level 4 for another 7 minutes. So 8:13, 8:14. We'll say 8:15. And then we have Ace King in the small blind. That's fantastic. 8:15. So then another 20 minutes is 8:35, and then there'll be a break, a 3-minute break for add-on. So 8:35. So we got to make it to 8:35, 8:30ish without rebuying. So we don't have to blow out another rebuy because there is an add-on available for 6,000 chips. We were given 2,000 starts, so that's pretty massive. So we're just gonna go all in and pick up this one big blind. I know it's stupid. He could wake up with aces or kings, but I block aces or kings. It's most likely he'd wake up with queens or jacks, and we are racing. And I don't have to worry about playing ace king out of position. I hate doing that. If I had made it 4 big blinds, for example, and he calls, and the flop comes 8-6 deuce, what can we do with that? We don't have a ton of blinds left. So I might as well just take his blind and move on to the next hand. Had it been the button, that would have been a little different. Now we can click it to like 2.5 or 2.25. Maybe poker pastor. If he was a big blind, he goes all in. I don't know. Now we're just making stuff up. So if we can last for another 22 minutes, 25 minutes. It's like 8:33, 8:34. Yeah, so another 25 minutes or so. Because we have, what do we have for a stack? We have 2150 in our stack, and it's another. So it'll be another. By the time it gets down to it, the next level after the add-on is 150, 300, and we're getting another 20 big blinds. You have to do it, and I would rather not invest. The cool thing about the rebuys and the add-ons is that there's no fee. It's just 5. So the rebuys are just for another starting stack, 2,000. That's up until level 6, and then after that, for 5 coins, 6,000. So 20 big blinds. You got to do it. So when you enter these, and this is, I guess, the theme of tonight will be 30 to 50 big blind tournament strategy, at least for the initial, for when I'm buying in, just to kind of maximize my time and be able to play like larger, semi-large fields and or smaller fields. Play those kind of like daily MTT type tournaments more regularly, because right now it's more like I can't commit. I can't do more than a day or two a week, if that, just because of the commitment. Sometimes you just don't want to sit in front of your computer all night, or you can't because you had to work. But if I can find like if those ignition games end at a reasonable hour, and actually after later on tonight when we're wrapping it up here, whatever time that ends up being, we can check to see if those are still going and how many players are left, and what should I expect if I was going to play it on a night like tonight. I hate King 10. It's the worst Broadway combo, and it's offsuit. Tonight's the flavor of the night. Tonight's seltzer flavor of the night. We'll come up with a name for this. Mandarin Polar Seltzer. Pride of Worcester, Massachusetts. Mandarin, one of my favorites. Throw a little lime in it. Delicious. Polar lime might be my favorite. I don't know what it is. You'd think lemon would be too, but lemon actually not for me. I know it's very popular. I'd rather have a plain seltzer and squeeze some actual lemon in it. Like you're probably saying, well, of course that's better. It's fresh. But you know what? Lime seltzer, polar lime seltzer with a lemon. My favorite drink going these days. So back to tournaments. I know I'm always like changing and tweaking and adjusting what I want to get out of online poker and what I think and how I want to maximize my opportunity. And I don't want to make it sound like it's any kind of a like my family life is any kind of burden or my career or my other responsibilities are a burden. They're not. I live a wonderful life. I am super lucky um, to be living the life I am. And I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to like get all around that. My goal, yeah, man. Okay. So there are players, I bet, who take advantage of the fact that there's going to be a lot of. It's going to be very slow for these last 20 minutes before the add-on. Because I've got 19 big blinds now. It would be silly of me. Same hand. You're dead, unfortunately, because I had the ace. I had another ace and another jack. So good fold by us. Kind of an obvious one. There was a raise and a call by a bigger stack. Um, so yeah, so I've got just under 20 big blinds now. If I bust, I get another 20 big blinds to try to make that 20 bigs last another 20 minutes, which is going to go down and down for that 20 minutes, and then the add-on gets me another 20 big blinds by the time we're at that level. So really, you're just throwing more money at getting the same size stack. Like it doesn't make sense. It would honestly be better to just hang on, just like fold, 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 and get there in a lot of ways, and then you give yourself a chance. I don't know. I'm I'm saying like it rather than like gamble with hands like king ten offsuit. It makes more sense to wait for aces, kings, queens, ace king, and maybe even tweak that to ace king suited. um, but then again, are you trying to win the tournament or are you trying to min cash? We could look at that too. What's the min cash relative to what you're going to invest? So we're going to invest 10.5 sweeps coins in this, and the min cash is now is 26.25. It's a no-brainer. Ugh. That's pretty good. That's actually, we can't ask for a better flop there. But we're at a position we kind of have to see what happens. And boy, do we like we almost honestly the fact that a, if a queen comes, the fact that if a queen comes that we are like gonna get action from any 10 like 8 10 9 10 ace 10 those hands like that, the fact that we're guaranteed to get action from a hand like that means that we need to be means that we need to be involved somehow here. Hopefully, that's such a bad turn card for us. Because if it was a total brick, like a deuce of clubs, like the deuce of clubs or the three of clubs, then we could probably even try to get it in on the turn. But now Well, I mean, it's possible nobody had a 9. I mean, do we go for value here? Or do we just kind of... I say we just check it. I know, it's so stupid, but we're so out of position. We kind of... And, yeah, so we got to call this. All right. So we call, and if we lose, we lose. Yeah, and we lose. That hurts. It was like the worst card we could have gotten there. I had to call that, though. I had... What was it, 3-1? I mean, he could be doing that with a 10. He did have a 10. He just had the best one. Okay. So if we lose with queens here, we already got an all in. If we lose with queen, Jesus. When we lose with queens here, so at least I won't feel horrible about rebuying. It's so gross. We could be way ahead. The way, but there's no way, right? Ace queen, ace king. Oh, that's perfect. We don't want a jack. That's pretty good. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. Because now we're that much closer. We're like we're 17 minutes from the rebuy, the add-on, without having to rebuy. So now we have a little bit. So it's only gonna... We could just sit on these 20. It's gonna take almost 7 minutes. It's gonna go around maybe twice. I don't know. These hands take a fairly decent amount of time. It'll go around twice probably. We're middle-ish position now, so we'll still have about 20 big blinds if we just fold out until the next level. And then the next level is what, 100, 200? So we'll still have 15 big blinds. We might be able to just muck. I mean, that's no fun. That's why I needed to fold that king 10. We should be playing a premiums only strategy right now to get, and it worked. Now, had we not donked off X amount of whatever the hand chips the hand before, we would have had more money and we would have been able to add another like almost 20 big blinds to our stack. Which would have been huge. So a mistake there with playing the king 10. I think that was a mistake, was playing it in the first place. It was a really, I mean, it was such a good price, but it's such a tough hand to play. And in the small blind, the 1.5 big blinds and not risking anything more than that would have been just the fold would have been the right play. Um, would 7-6 have? I don't know. All right, so we get ace queen in probably the best spot because I'm trying to play a premiums only range for the next 14, 15 minutes. 14 minutes anyway. Until we can add on and, rebuys are done. Let's hope it stays at 2. We're out of position, though. This might be super nitty. No, yeah, so we're going to fold.
again, I just don't really see the value. This is all part of the strategy too. This is all part of kind of like the big blind, like the shorter stack. I don't know. I'm sure there's a name for how like what that strategy is, but the 30 to 50, we'll say 27 to 50 big blind. Oh, ace queen, no. Yeah, what really? Oh, ace high would have ace high takes that down. That was for. I mean, there was no way I was going to see that though with Trump 2020 having almost 50 bigs at this point. There's no way I get there. But this is part of the overall mentality. And yeah, Jesus, wow, I didn't know they'd all be playing that wide. That's crazy. How does that happen? So maybe that justifies ace seven versus, I mean, kings. Oh, spikes the ace. Yeah. Anybody less than 10 bigs? Is that still what goes on? Players still do that. They dip under 10 and then boom, ace seven all in. I mean, fine, but I get in this format, why would you do that? I just don't get it. But see, these are the tourneys that I need to be playing in because we get this ridiculousness. And I'm gonna pick up I mean, see, I'll be the one that picks up kings or queens. Ace, good. I mean, three on the river, three of diamonds. Ace king still holds. Nine's full. So we really should just be playing premiums here. I think that I think it kind of settles it, especially multi-way, because there are legit hands out there like ace. There's at least with the jams, with the heads up jams. There's one kind of ridiculous holding and one premium. So if we're in a heads up situation with like ace queen suited, we just have to figure out if the other hand is a premium or if it's junk. But yeah, so I guess part of the overall like meta strategy with the 30 to 50 big blinds is that you are going to be generally playing against bigger stacks. It will be playing against bigger stacks out of the gate, and depending on how late we are in the tournament when it's that blind level relative to the starting stack. Um, there could be a lot of bigger stacks. Like I'm interested to see how, and we could always. I just don't feel like it right now, frankly. But we could always check in with how the micro roller. We're past the that window for the micro roller and it hasn't started yet for the micro monster stack. So at 8:40, if we or at the next break, we could do that actually. We can just click. We can check into the micro monster stack and see what where we'd be buying in, like what the chip distribution is, the standard deviation or whatever. You know, where are you in the probably still somewhere in the middle, but how does that relative to the shortest and largest stacks? We'll have to check into that. But you understand, like with that, you're going to be playing against bigger stacks, right? For the whole tournament, you're going to have bigger stacks out there. So, and you got to feel comfortable playing against them in a lot of situations, and you have to know what to do. So, I feel like even in something like this, where we have plenty of time, like we don't have to. We didn't necessarily come in with a short stack. We did just happen, but it's not the same. We came in with 33 bigs here, which plays into our strategy, but it's a little different because there's this extended rebuy period. So we have to figure out how to navigate. I don't want to just bail on this format. We kind of entered this like on the fly.
because we had to jump into something. It was before 8 o'clock, right? So I wouldn't want to totally rule out the rebuy and add-ons. It's just like I'm trying to like kind of pick a specific, like work on the strategy a little bit. So later, like I don't want to, I say more organic type, standard type tournaments where you just like just a straight up re-entry, not even a freeze out, just like re-entries where we're only trying to. Part of the reason why we're going to enter late is because we don't. It's less likely that we'd have to rebuy or that we'd be able to even. So the micro roller, it's only a 10-minute window to get into when we're between 30 and big blinds because it's a shorter. I'm pretty sure it's where we'd be entering the last. It's 10-minute blind levels, but only 3 levels of late reg, so we'd be coming in on that last level that ends at 8:45. Which, whatever, let's buy in and go. We'll buy in right at 8:45. We'll still have like, because I'm pretty sure it's 3,000, so it'll be 50 big blinds during that level, and it'll be 30 big blinds after, right, the next level after the rebuy period. So really, if I want to work on the strategy, that's kind of like the perfect tournament to do it. Shoot, I kind of want to like log in at 8:35, play at 50 big blinds, and then at 8, and then at 8:45 you're at 30. Or like the next tournament, you flip flop, you work on that, and then the next tournament you log at 8:45, start with 30. But yeah, okay. So we got Ace Jack. Oh, this sucks now. Where are we? We're in the big, and that's the button. Okay. No 10. Okay, good. We would have won. We would have beaten Big Slick. We would have still ended up with more big blinds, but I think that's still a right fold. Because we have 6 minutes left now. We have 6 minutes left before the add-on, and I think it's just more. It's worth. I think it's worth holding on to them. So what tournament? Tournament? The 615 micro roller, micro monster. So I'll pull that up and we'll check that out in a little bit. Well, yeah, in like 10 minutes. Or I'll have it up, or whatever. We'll look at it now. Starting stack is 15,000, and right now the blind level is 125, 250. That's 60 bigs, so um, buying in for 15,000 would put you somewhere in like 50th place, just 51st, 52nd place. And right now there's how many players? 123 registered. That's pretty good. They pay out a lot of their field though. They pay out 26 on that. Oh, interesting. Okay, now I'm just spewing off. So I should have probably folded, but we can keep our fingers crossed so we can sneak in. Ooh, a fold. Yeah, the further down we get to that, the closer we get to, ew. Well, that was a waste, but the closer we get to the end of this, yeah, it's like just under 4 minutes. Let's see if we can get a free one. Maybe peel off a diamond. Something. No, total rainbow board. Oh, that's Ignition's. I like they put a lot of information right on their tournament page on their mobile site, and is it or desktop site I should say, not the app, not the yeah, not the app, the desktop, the web browser page, the browser edition. I don't know. Check fold. They do. So how many players? 124 entrants, 73 players left on 9 tables, paying 26. Oh, and we would be somewhere in 50th if we bought in. If that's what we bought in now, so we'd obviously be um, further down the line in 10 to 20, 10 minutes to a half hour. We're just trying to get through the next 2.5 minutes here with chips so we can add on another um, 30, 20, excuse me, 20 to get what would be 31. So that would be perfect. And we're not like, there's smaller stacks than ours out there. And players are going out and having a rebuy. And there's no more entrants. There, if anything, players might drop. They just might say, you know what, I've already spewed off 3, or maybe they don't have any more in their account. I just, I invested like 4 buy-ins, and I don't want to do it again. So we got 94 total players, 72 left, and so we make it. So if we don't have to rebuy the next, okay, good. Sucks we had to give up another big there. Did we get moved? Might have gotten moved. Sucks it was right into the blind. But we get through the next 90 seconds. We'll have invested 10.5. And a min cash is 26.25. That's pretty great. So with this, I mean, it's such a good value. Look at that. It's 12.50. And 5, it's a 5 each to the prize pool. Oh, of course. Oh, I hate this. Please don't put me in a spot where I have to do anything. I could just fold it. It's so stupid. I want to win money. Where am I in this? What is my ranking? A 52 out of 72. That's not great, and they're paying out 15. They're paying out 15, so that means we got some work to do. Oh man, this sucks. This hand might be right. Don't we? Do we have to have chips to add on? Probably, right? We have to. We have to rebuy first. Oh, this sucks. This is the last hand. I have to fold it, right? Or just call? Can I just call? Boo. I hate that. Yeah, it's oh, I hate that. Well, whatever. I mean, the blinds are going up, so it's and we could get a free card. Probably not though. Why would an audio cloud bet there? Yeah, and that doesn't help either. That's awful. Worst card. That was stupid. Not the time to go essentially set mining out of position. But it was only a blind and a half. Trying to go for the W here. What else can we say? We're in the brawl. We're at the 3, we're at that break, right? Yeah, we're at the 3-minute break. We add on. We'll have 25 bigs. That's perfect. Quick little break here. No need to really recheck in on ignition. We have it up. We have it. I don't think I want to enter. I don't know. Did I say before that I was going to do it? I said we could do it, but that monster stack might just be too too long because I don't think sometimes we think about the difference between a 5 minute blind turbo multi-table tournament and a 15 minute. That can be that's a um, that's it's a totally different universe. Those games and the 15 minute blind levels can really just take a long time, especially on ignition where I feel like the game is just so deep stacked. No matter that, like even though we're entering late, further along down the line, toward the end of the rebuy period. I don't even the rebuy period. I think and that goes to like 10. It's late entry until blind level 17. 17 times 15 is 4 hours and 15 minutes. 4 hours and 15 minutes of late reg plus the break. So like just say 4.5 hours, and it starts at 6:30. So that's like 10:45. So that's ridiculous. No, that can't be right. Is that right? A 6:15 p.m. daily tournament. 15. Maybe I didn't do that. 15 times 17 times 15 minutes equals 255 divided by 60. 4 hours. Over 4 hours. I can't play that tournament. Dang it. The micro roller. Oh, that's so disappointing. I can't even. I didn't even like consider that these late reg periods. God, I'm such an amateur, and I figured this out on a live stream. The micro roller is still going as far as late reg. See, that's probably another 4 hours. So we should really be checking on this. So entries until okay, blind level 14. That is something. That's 45 minutes. Um, that's 3.5 hours plus a break. So you figure 3 hours and 45 minutes, which is what's 4 hours? 9:15. So that's 9:15. So the micro roller is really that's the game. That's the one. We should be focusing on this. And it's a shorter stack, so it's 10,000. And we would have needed to have gotten into that by 8. We could still get into it, just to splash around. It's $5. Although I think I only had enough for for a micro monster. I think I only have 440 in my account because I'm trying not to deposit more. So it won't be tonight. But we're definitely gonna try that micro roller out. That seems to be right up our alley. And late reg ends early enough, just early enough at 9:15, where it's possible we could end the thing at a decent hour. It still seems late though. Shoot, wait, we didn't even count it. So yeah, no, 9:15, 9:15. But we should really watch it though, and because what do we have now? We'll watch it. We'll be here. 333 entrants, 58 re-entries. Currently 156 players on 18 tables. Like that's not a ridiculously high number. And late reg, I mean, people who are buying in now, 10,000 stack. The blinds are at. So they have 20 bigs if they want to buy in now. So there's still going to be entries. And they pay 72 spots, and there's 155 players in the game. That's what? Yeah, 335. So what's the min cash in that? So on a $5, 550 entry, so 942 until you get to like 63rd is 1041. So those aren't bad. And then the 30s, it's like 12, $13, and then the 20s, it's like 15. I mean, that's okay. I feel like if you're in the top, if you're if you come in like 14th, you make $19. Like, yeah, I guess that's fair. There must be. It really is a flat payout. So really, the min cash. Oh, is it? Like, if there's not enough difference between like 942 and $15, that's like paid. That's like 72 through 14. Ouch. Yeah, that's not a lot. I mean, No, maybe not 14. 72 through 18. And you only make another $6 in that whole span. I don't know. The goal is really just to win this bad boy because you can win $300, 330, 244, 179, 132. So those are some good payouts on a $5 entry fee. But it's not an unbeatable field. I kind of feel like my wheelhouse is like those 80 to 100 player fields. I guess this would qualify. I should really just suck it up and play this more. When do we get in? A little before 8? We got in at a good time. We're playing a good tight strategy. We're not giving up our stack. We're 57th out of 71, but this is all part of the late reg, big, shorter stack mentality. We're going to play some good pots. And we're going to do that by playing premium hands. There's really like some coaches or some theories out there that say really between like 27 and 27 and I guess 15 big blinds, you should, don't quote me on that, it's like 27-18 or 27-15, you should just not play. You really like, it's a stack depth where you really just have no reason to play unless you obviously have a premium holding. And then you just really just get it in. Because you want to be called by another, like in theory, you want to have there be another premium out there. Like, I don't know, I guess not all premiums are the same. And we're not playing all premiums too. Like, we might not do that with 10s. 10s are just tough in a tournament. It's ahead of so much, but it races with a lot. And when the runouts come, like the overcrushes just tend to get there. Yeah, so we'll see how this goes. We're in a good spot here. Maybe, I'm getting curious about Ignition, but maybe it's just not that kind of site. Maybe it's just really like I got to find it in global, and maybe rather than come up with a strategy that's right for me, come up with a strategy that's right for me on global. Because it doesn't seem like, I haven't looked at ACR. I kind of almost don't want to have ACR on my computer because I got it on my laptop, but and actually on my tablet too, on their mobile app. I have a Android device, but yeah, I don't know. It's yeah. Ignition's just not that site. I don't want to really mess with ACR. Maybe one day, or maybe I figure out a way to. I played a couple tournaments on the ACR mobile app, and I did not think it was good at all. And maybe I needed to like play something, like test it out a little bit more. I couldn't find where I was, like the tournament lobby, or like where I stood in the game, and I don't. It was just really like, it was just such a horrible. I played in a really micro stakes, like $1 game, but I couldn't figure out where. I couldn't figure anything out. I just ended up just jamming. I don't think they could show the stacks in big blinds, and like I had no idea what level we were. Like, it really was bare bones, and kind of embarrassing. But every other site has either a mobile site or a mobile app that's really good. Like, I can say that pretty much about everyone. Global, like, kind of is what it is. Actually, I find like the tablet on my tablet on this Android device, it is kind of awkward. It's not easy to enter. Like, I probably shouldn't play tournaments on it, which is too bad. Actually, that kind of stinks now that I think about it. I'm gonna have to lug my laptop everywhere to play on global. I'd rather not. Ew. That ain't bad. I don't
know how much we go with this though. This is tough because this is just a board for so many ranges out there that somebody's going to stab at it. And now, how much do I want to invest in a low flush draw? Uh, yeah, this is one of the unfortunate results. One of the unfortunate. I'm going to just get out of ignition. This is one of the unfortunate parts about strategy. I can't even see a turn. It just makes zero sense. It's got to come immediately, and I could be up against higher clubs, and I don't have any like overcards to bail me out. So yeah, we'll just get rid of that. We're 60th out of 70, but we have plenty of chips. It's a 10-minute blind level game. Really, this is honestly what I should do after after the Grizzly games, rather than go over to Ignition and start screwing around with their setup. Unless I can find a turbo, but I tried looking for turbos, and a lot of them just happen like late at night. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, I'll go back to the site, whatever. I just can't. I don't tournaments. I'll just search turbo at like $0 to $15 buy-ins. First of all, it's all satellites. I can't, and it's not even just on Ignition. Like if I unclick satellites on my filters, it still pops up with. They're still all over the place. I don't think I'm alone in how I feel. Like there's just poker players out there that don't play satellites. I don't think I'm the only one. So if we want to just hide them, let us just get them out of there. It's just all it is bogging things down, and it's preventing me. It's just taking me longer to find stuff. And it is possible that I might miss something that I could otherwise play because I couldn't find it in time to really like do anything about it. So that's just my mini rant. So let me hide the dang things. So there's like a $300 guaranteed, $3.30 perfect, $3.30 buy-in. So that means it's going to be about 100 runners, which is ideal. That's perfect. That's really that's this game. This is Brawl that I'm playing in. That started at what, 7:30? Great start time. Yeah, I might not be able to play like a 10 point, like invest 10.5 sweeps coins in some nights. If there's a rebuy, it could be 15. I don't know if I can do that more than once a week, but I can do it while I do it. I'll do it while I can do it, if that makes sense. Maybe there's a way to the add-ons don't have any fees, so there's no way I'm getting those cheaper. But maybe there's a way to buy like $5 sweeps coins tickets for like maybe they do like get for $100 you get 25 of them or something. Whatever, that might be generous, but King Jack's one of those hands that I do play.